I've probably put 100 hours into this game by now. I don't have a problem, you have a problem. Fire Emblem Three Houses. So Fire Emblem Three Houses is the newest Fire Emblem game. I'm a big Fire Emblem fan. I love turn-based strategy games. I just love them. The math, the battle tactics, the strategy. Oh yeah. I love it. And Fire Emblem Three Houses, it's next level. It really generally has everything you like from Fire Emblem before, except the whole triangle battle system, the triangle weapon system rather. There was a system to it. Now it's not really in here. It's in here in the sense that there are abilities you unlock. You can have these abilities equipped to you, and one of them is like, hey, you're more powerful against axes if you're attacking axes, and you can have that equipped if you'd like. But that's down to the customization. The customization in this game is insane. It's all about how you train your students. So we're just gonna get into it. The biggest and newest addition to Fire Emblem Three Houses, the thing that sets it apart is the fact that it's pretty much Harry Potter. There's this super mythical school that trains students how to be warriors or mages or archers or whatever. You play a character named Byleth, or whatever you want to name him or her, and they're like, you know what, you're so intriguing, we'll make you a professor here. So now you're totally not the new Defense Against the Dark Arts teacher, but that's totally what it feels like, because you're at Hogwarts, but it's not Hogwarts. This school called Garreg Mach has 3 houses you can choose from: Black Eagles, Golden Deer, Blue Lion, all of which have unique students with very unique personalities, and you get to choose which one you want to be the professor of. So now at the end of the week, you can go around, you talk to characters, you talk to your class, you build relationships with them, you tell each student, hey, I think you'll be good in this, you should train in this. Sometimes they want to, sometimes they don't want to, and so they don't learn as quickly early on. Then they might develop a taste for the subject, and it's like, all right, now they actually excel at that. It's such a genius move to push this franchise towards this format. I'm actually surprised they didn't do it sooner. Probably because how could you pack all that into a DS title? But yeah, like I said, you build faction with your class, you give them gifts, you take them to tea. Just a teacher giving his students gifts and tea. No red flags there at all. As much as it reminds me of Harry Potter, McGonagall looks a bit better. I'm just saying. But I love just building the relationships. I love finding out about these characters. It's all completely voiceover, so it's not like you have to lock in and read. Not that the voice work is, you know, the greatest voice acting I've ever heard. And first I was kind of thrown off at the fact that I was like, I'm spending so much time in this school training the students and talking to the students, finding items, solving mysteries, solving puzzles, planting crops, fishing. There's fishing, but even the fishing isn't stupid. Sometimes you're like, fishing mini game, oh god. This one, the fishing's not bad. It's like, you push a button, you cast the reel, and now it's a beat game essentially. Point is, it's not ball-numbingly cumbersome crafting mechanics I'll never actually do because it takes away from the game's point and direction. And one of the things I like with the school is that they move the week along. Essentially, it's at the weekends, funny enough, with school, that's when stuff happens. You have the option of going in there and talking with the students on school grounds. You go out there and do battles, so that's when you actually fight. If someone wants to talk with you during the week, you can talk with them, but it's just this little icon, the sprite icon's like, all right, and getting to the end of the week, because you don't want to do this every day. What, 365 days? No. But when you're in the school, you have a limited amount of resources to put into things and activities. You want to train yourself. You want to gain faction with your students. You want to gain faction with other students that you can then recruit into your class. I was the professor of the Black Eagles class, but even then you can recruit students into your class that aren't in your class, which I suggest to do because in my first playthrough, I was like, oh, I like my crew and I'm gonna make them better at things and I'm gonna improve my relationship with them. In the final battle, it was like, all right, so there's your crew and who do you got to fill these spots? It's a pretty big battle. Huh? Yep, I had no extra students. So, here we go. The battle was actually a lot of fun because it was harder. And that's just the school element. You need to talk to your students. You need to build up their morale so they learn better. If you're not doing that, you're out there battling with your students. And if you liked Fire Emblem before, you're gonna like Fire Emblem now because it's what you know and love from Fire Emblem. Generally, some new mechanics, some new things they have, which I will say this game is kind of ass in telling you how things work. You have to actually go into the menus and figure it out yourself. There is a menu that's like, oh hey, tutorial training on a bunch of stuff that I found later. It's almost like the game's like, here are some tutorials. All right, yeah, sweet. You got it. Good job. You're just like left with your devices like, all right, so I'm just, all right, I'll play how I play Fire Emblem. And there are a couple things that are different. One of them, you get these battalions, these mercenaries or whatever that you can hit people with. They do different stat nerfs to your enemies. Sometimes they'll just lock them into place. They can't move. I never really use them though, because if I'm using them, I'm not using the weapon. If I'm not using the weapon, I'm not getting better with the weapon. I never found a reason to actually use them. They actually hit pretty hard early game, but I'd rather use the weapon. In fact, there was one time I really was like, I need them. When I fought the Death Knight for the first time, which was the second time I met the Death Knight, because the first time you meet the Death Knight, Fuck no. And if you hit him with the battalion, it doesn't actually provoke a counterattack, and that'll help you against the Death Knight. And when you level up a class or get better with weapons, you start learning these abilities. I didn't know you can actually change these abilities out. Didn't learn that until way later in the game, because it was like, it said I could do this. Why isn't it doing it? So I had to fish and find it. Yeah, a bunch of abilities I had and a few that were equipped, so after I swapped them out, my characters got a lot better. But really, the customization of your characters, that's where, dude, this game is crazy. Your students are students, so it's all about how you want to train them, what you want to teach them in. It's like if you want someone to be a paladin, they might need a C in writing, a B in lance. I'm just throwing things out there. These probably are not the numbers. So if you meet those requirements, you give them the test to be a paladin, to upgrade and promote to a paladin. It'll show the probability of them passing that test, which if they meet the requirements will be 100%. If they don't meet the requirements, it might be 79%, might be 70%, might be 50%. They could still take the test. If they fail, you're just out the seal, but then you just restart your save and try again maybe. No shame. This is an RPG. That's just called being smart. But if you have someone who's a thief and you promote them to be an assassin, it's not like they can't ever be a thief. When you go into battle, you can reclass them and they can become a thief again if you want to max out the thief or you need a thief for that mission. I just love the fact that when you promote somebody, the class they were is not lost forever. They can always go back to being that class. And based on how you want to train your crew, you can train anybody to really be anything that the computer will allow them to be. There are a couple classes that's like, not only the males can be this, only the females can be that, a couple of them. But among teaching the students and battling with the students, really, it's about the connection you have with the characters. The characters become people. You totally don't want them to die out there on the battlefield. You're invested, you care. See, the relationship building in Fire Emblem up to this point was always just, all right, you fight better if you're standing next to each other. That's cool. Maybe you'll crap out a kid and that kid through some time fuckery can fight with you. That doesn't happen in here. Really, it's about the connections you get with the characters. It's about finding out more about them and their story. The more they talk with you, the more you build that relationship. This was really the first game. It wasn't about the romance. It was about the connection with the characters. And they know it's like if you're playing on permadeath and someone dies, you're just going to reset it anyway. So you can reverse time and you can reverse moves. You can go, all right, I'm going to go back and do that differently. You have a finite amount of times you can actually do that, but they give you that option because they know that reset button's happening. I played it on permanent death and normal, and I'll say the game isn't as hard as some other Fire Emblem games I've played. So if you're a Fire Emblem veteran, maybe you want to play it on hard. There was one time I had that James T. Kirk moment where something big came out of nowhere and we were all just staring it in the face. And I felt like I led everybody to their death. I could just turn to them and be like, I'm sorry. I thought we were all dead, but we scraped and we fought and we got out of it, and we were high-fiving digitally. It's funny, there's one dude I know, he played a different class. He didn't play Black Eagles like I played, but he's so attached to his characters, and I can't imagine being more attached to other characters than I am with the characters in my class. If you play Black Eagles, there's a moment where it's like, hey, this will fundamentally change the path of the game. Which one do you want to do? I'm really impressed with that fork, though. It's like, very few times in a video game do you hear, this is going to fundamentally change the path of the game. And when you do it, you're like, I believe that that's exactly what, wow. And the music in here, oh my God, the soundtrack. Even the first battle, this is the introductory battle to the battle system. That music, which is actually the battle music for quite a long time in the game, is way more epic than I ever thought it could ever be. A good soundtrack, or at the very least, good battle music will set a game apart from the rest. And this one has great battle music. It's just a great soundtrack in general. Though this game is a lot of battles, so I guess a lot of it is battle music. Because in the end, Fire Emblem Three Houses, it's everything I wanted and more. It's more than I ever thought it could be. I was scared out of my mind, like, all right, new Fire Emblem game, they have a lot to live up to. Oh my God, I hope it's good. The epic Fire Emblem battle style that I know and love. Deeper character connections with this Fire Emblem game than ever before. An intriguing personal story and an epic grand story. And this is my favorite Fire Emblem game. It's not just good, it's not just great. Turn-based strategy Harry Potter meets Game of Thrones is awesome-tacular. Fire Emblem Three Houses, 100 hours, I'm still there. And after I'm done with this video, as it's uploaded, I'm playing it right now. My sleep patterns are completely fucked. You know how much insomnia I had because of this game? First or second night I had this game, it was 11:30 in the morning. I was like, I haven't slept yet. Why haven't I slept? I'm not tired. Why do I not even want to sleep? I should want to. I just want to play this. All right, so Fire Emblem Three Houses, have you played it? What did you think about it? And what's your house? What house were you the professor of? Or what's your favorite turn-based strategy game? Whatever it is, whatever you think, comment below, let me know. And as always, if you like what you've seen here and you want to see more, click right here to see more.